Hello and welcome to the Craft Beer Corner. For today's beer review, we're jumping in to another beer from Klosterbrauerei Andechs. This one is their Weißbier Dunkel, and it is exactly what they named it. It's a Dunkel Weissbier, Weißbier Dunkel. Klosterbrauerei Andechs, of course, based in Andechs, Germany. This one clocks in at 5% ABV. So yeah, I mean, not really much to talk about. This is the fourth of these that I have reviewed as of late. They do make more beers. There were more at my local bottle shop, but this is the last of the four I grabbed. Label art, very much the same as all of the others, only it's got kind of a chocolatey brown label. So this is the Dunkel version. 5% ABV. We're going to get this cracked, and of course we're using our nice Weizen glass. So the name Weißbier Dunkel. Dunkel is the German word for dark. So white beer, Weißbier, dark. Well, yes, remember, this is brewed in Bavaria in the south where they call wheat beers Weissbiers, white beers. And it's not saying it's a dark white beer. That's just what they call it. They're saying it's a dark wheat beer. So Weißbier Dunkel. Otherwise, it would be a Dunkel Weizen in the rest of Germany. They would call it a dark wheat, Dunkel Weizen with a Z. This is Weiss with two S's. So let's just get this poured into our nice Weissbier glass. Oh yeah, that's looking lovely. Having no trouble whatsoever forming a head. Indeed, I'm going to have to slow this down a bit so we can get more of this beer in this glass. Yeah, it's by design. It's to form a nice head, and indeed they do. All right, so before we do anything else, it's very active in terms of carbonation. I can see that. I don't know how long that head is going to hold, so I'm just going to jump right over this for a full sniff. Oh yeah, that smells really nice. So this smells exactly how I expected it to. If you've never had a Dunkel wheat beer, it's got the same general aroma that you're going to find on any German wheat beer, a Weizen or a Weissbier in the south. So it's got the kind of clovey, kind of banana-y aroma. But the fact that they use these darker, more caramelly malts in the malt bill with it, it does bring out a lot of different aroma profiles. And this one, it does put on a lot richer, more caramelly aroma in tandem with that kind of clove. It backs off the banana. I'm not really picking up anything that smells like banana. And indeed, it almost smells like a combination of caramel and fresh baked like brown bread. It smells really, really nice, guys. Absolutely fantastic. Visually, yeah, it's kind of a darker amber. It's, dark amber, but not quite a dark brown. It's brownish, but it's more amber in hue than it is a dark brown. So not quite porter. It's kind of splits the difference in color between a porter and your typical amber. Very, very nice looking beer. Yeah, head settled down, but it's still holding true. So let's just jump right in and see what Klosterbrauerei's Weißbier Dunkel is about. Smells great. Oh, yeah. That's really nice. Okay. So first things first, body and mouthfeel. Body on this is a very nice medium light. It's 5%. It's not a heavy beer. It doesn't feel particularly heavy. Feels right for the ABV. Mouthfeel on this one gets very silky, very creamy when you agitate. You can feel there's a little bit of resistance there, but again, it's only a 5% ABV beer, so it doesn't feel super thick or viscous. It feels right, weight and body. Perfect, perfect. Just spot on for the style in the ABV range. In terms of the flavor profile, so on the nose, I got a lot more of these richer caramelly overtones than just their standard Weissbier. And in this one, yes, those notes make it present in the glass, but the flavor profile still leans a lot more heavily on this kind of Hefeweizen yeast quality where the clove is still quite pronounced. Yes, I can get these nice caramelly underpinnings. And in the flavor profile, yeah, there's a little bit of this caramel underpinning, but there's a lot more of fresh baked bread of that kind of flavor. So it's got this kind of combination of caramelly notes in tandem with clove, in tandem with fresh baked bread. It's absolutely delicious. It's not a heavy beer. It's a light beer. It feels refreshing. Yes, it looks dark in the glass, but this is a very refreshing beer style to be certain. This is a very nice one. So Really what I'm getting out of this is you can get a fair bit of information off of the aroma, but you really do have to jump into it just to see exactly what it does in the flavor profile. You get a lot of good detail there, but it doesn't match exactly. Yes, you get all of the same traits that you can pick up on the aroma, but kind of the intensities of them when you swallow is maybe a bit different than the aroma would let you on to believe. So it does lead very strongly still with that nice classic Hefeweizen yeast clove bite up front. Very, very nice. And it does indeed take several seconds before that intensity dials back, that the underpinning of these roastier malts really starts to open up and you start to get this kind of caramel note and this fresh baked bread. It's really nice. And it does taste of fresh baked brown bread. Think like a pumpernickel loaf, not white bread. Very, very nice, guys. So I'm going to jump back in. I'm going to let everything re-intensify. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Then we'll talk about the balance and the finish. But yeah, this is another great one from Klosterbrauerei Andechs. Take two. Yeah, big bite of clove up front. Takes a few seconds. Settles down a bit. Now very distinct kind of caramel starting to open up. So then you almost get this equal mix of caramel and clove, somewhere between the 5-10 second mark. Then after that, the intensity just starts to level out a bit. The underlying malt bill, roastiness of it, does start to open up very distinctly into fresh baked brown bread. It's very, very nice. That is the flavor ride that I'm getting. I'm not getting any kind of other fruit accents coming out of this. And I'm not getting banana, which is often on the nose and in the flavor profile that can present itself in a Weißbier. This one is just almost three-pronged. It's caramel, it's clove, and it's like fresh baked brown bread, both in the aroma and the flavor profile. It's very, very nice. I like that there's different intensities too, so it lets kind of these character traits kind of weave in and out of one another until they finally hit that even playing field. So for my money, the balance on this is great. I don't think they went overboard with the darker malts, and I don't think they went too light. I think they added just the right amount to still let it work with this natural characteristics that you get from the Weizen yeast. It's very, very nice. The balance, personally, I think is perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. In terms of the finish, again, it's not a beer style known for a super long finish. This one's really just sitting right in the average range. It's not super long, it's not super short. It's pretty much exactly bog standard what you would expect for a Weizen or Dunkel Weizen for that matter. A very, very good beer, guys. I have enjoyed all of these Klosterbrauerei Andechs beers. This is another good one. So I'm going to take my time, sip on this, come up with my scores. When we come back, we will get this beer ranked from top to bottom. All right, now that we've gotten to enjoy this beer, we're going to get it ranked. This was Klosterbrauerei Andechs Weißbier Dunkel, a dark Weißbier. This one clocked in at 5% ABV, and Klosterbrauerei Andechs, or Andechs, if you prefer to use their colloquial shortened name, is based in Andechs, Germany, in Bavaria. So guys, this was just another absolutely fantastic beer by Klosterbrauerei Andechs. I am very, very impressed. 4 for 4 for my money. Really, really, really well done. Each iteration of each style that they brewed was just classic, traditional, by the book. Extremely well executed. This one was no different. Indeed, we don't have to go through all the scores because there's only one category that did not get a perfect score, and that was on the finish. So a Weißbier and a Weißbier Dunkel, by proxy, of course, they don't really have particularly extended lengths on their finish. They're typically going to be pretty wet and round, but they're not really going to linger all over the palate. As a rule, that would be the norm. Some definitely do have longer than average finishes. Some definitely have shorter. This one just fell right in the middle of the road. It was just squarely average, bog standard finish for the beer style, and I did give it a 5 out of 10, which does leave a perfect 10 out of 10 in the remaining 9 categories. That's aroma, taste, body, mouthfeel, head and retention, appearance, balance, feeling/intangible, my subjective thoughts category, and finally example of style. So the total score on Klosterbrauerei Andechs Weißbier Dunkel is a 95 out of 100. Guys, just another absolute winner here. This is a brewer, I mean, if I ever had anything from them before the last several weeks, I certainly don't remember it. But I gotta say, I've never seen these on tap, even at my local German restaurant, though they do sell bottles in the bottle shop. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be seeking out more of their beers. I really, really like what they're doing. All of them were really, really great versions of their various beer styles. This was no different. If you like Weissbiers, wheat beers, Dunkel Weissens, yeah, I would recommend this one all day long. Folks, that is today's review. As always, I do sincerely appreciate you tuning in today. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to stay in the loop when our videos go live, just turn on your notifications by hitting that bell icon. Until next time, keep it beer, keep it craft. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.